if you have ancestors from the British Commonwealth, so you have relatives in UK, in Canada, in Australia, or some of the other little known Commonwealth countries, you're going to want to use Find My Past and do your research there. But if you don't add your tree to Find My Past, you're missing out on really great research tools. So let's talk about how to build your tree on Find My Past right after this. So welcome everyone, my name is Devin Noel Lee and this is Family History Fanatics, where we help you climb your family tree and have a whole lot of fun along the way. Today we're talking about the easy ways to build your tree on Find My Past. And this is a live training, so if you're watching a replay, you will utilize the comment section to talk back to us. And if you're watching live, you have access to the chat. So what we do here at Family History Fanatics is teach you how to love DNA and understand it, how to climb your family tree and write your ancestor stories along the way. So let's hop over to the training video where we're going to talk about building your tree on Find My Past. All right, so here we are on the front page of the Find My Past. Now, Find My Past has done a fantastic job of redesigning their website. And so this is the new and improved desktop design. So when you want to build your tree on Find My Past, you just come up here to the top to Family Tree. And let's go ahead and show you, this is where all of your trees are going to be put together. Notice I already have one tree, but I can import a tree or create a new one. So I'm going to do it both ways. And we're going to do the create a tree first. Now, I need to pull up some information because, of course, I'm not going to share my personal information online. That would be just a little ridiculous. So we're going to go ahead and start typing information. So I'm going to put Emma Virginia Townsend. So she's one of my ancestors from Franklin County, Ohio. Ugh, I'm doing a lot of side typing to pull up some other information. Oh, go figure. Hold on a second. All right, so I need to go through and add other information. I know she's female. I know she was deceased because, well, she was born a very, 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 very long time ago. Now, what I can do is, if I remember what the date of birth is, I can go ahead and type that in there now. If it is a guess, I can go ahead and make it a guess, such as, let's say she was born about 1860. Let's just pretend that she was born about 1860. We can always change things later, but you have to start somewhere. So Franklin County, Ohio. And notice they give you these drop-down options right here. I really like this. So go ahead and select your place. And I'm going to say that she died in 1940. The World War II started in 40. I'm drawing a blank. So I'm going to say 45 for now. You guys in chat can go and correct me. The year the United States was bombed by Pearl Harbor. We'll see who is our smarty pants and remembers all of that information that I can't think of right now. There we go. Anyway, but I do know that she died in Columbus, Franklin County, Ohio, because she was living at my grandma Louise's house because her son, my grandmother's husband, was serving in the military. So I can go ahead and start creating my tree. 1941. Thank you, guys. I knew it was 41, but sometimes you think you know stuff and then you start doubting yourself. That's what was happening. So here, I like coming in this view. There was another view that I was looking at earlier, and it was really driving me crazy because I couldn't remember who I was working on. So here I go here, and I like this view. I've got Emma, and so then with Emma, I'm going to go ahead and add her father. So her father was William James Townsend. He was a male and he is deceased. I know he died in 1890, and I know it was in Franklin County, Ohio as well. Just lots of people from Franklin County, Ohio. All right, so once you get that in there, you save your changes. Now, many of you are going to think, wow, this is really, really time consuming because I have my tree information over on another platform. And you're right. But stick with me for just a minute because I'm going to show you how do you add information to the tree when you find information from records, and that's how you can build. It's a skill we need no matter where we are in the research process. But what I'm also then going to do is show you how you move a GEDCOM over there. So back to Find My Past. Let's go here to William James Townsend. Let's say you finally remember where he was born in about 1840. If you need to make a change, anytime you need to make a change, not just when you're adding people for the first time, you can come over here to edit, and then we can go ahead and start editing things. Really super simple. And 1842 was when he was born, so almost a year to the day, I wouldn't say the day, but 100 years before World War II. That's pretty cool. Anyway, so Franklin County, Ohio, go ahead and type all that stuff in there. I love that they go ahead and give you that drop down, so if you have bad spelling, they'll fix it for you, and hit save. So if you give your tree just a few minutes, hints will start popping up. So let me actually go back because I want you to see that. See right there? Find My Past has just added 2 more hints to my profile here. So this is another way you just start adding a few names in and then you start working the hints. So click on the hints, and now you can see regimental service information. So he was in the Civil War. More service records, 1860 census, 1880 census. I'm going to hop over here because I'm almost confident I know that this is his family. Watch what I can do now. The first thing, you see this bar down at the bottom that I'm kind of trying to hover over? Find My Past wants you to tell them, is this an accurate hint? Are you uncertain? Or yes, definitely. So this is kind of nice because if you're ever in doubt, you can just put it in a holding cell and then come back and revisit those hints later and not have Find My Past constantly say, hey, hints, are these hints? So it's really nice because in other videos we've talked about, well, what do you do when you don't have a lot of information about somebody and you're slowly building a case? I tell people just get in there, start putting information in because you can always change it later. But this is like a nice little middle ground option where you can put things in a holding cell until you're ready to process it, till you have additional information. So what's really great about this over here on the left is the record and the information from the record. Over here on the right is your tree. So the first thing we want to do is look at the source information. So here's the reference information, and I'm going to right click and see if this brings what it brings me to. So I have a transcription of the information associated with that census record, and I can also view an image right there on the right. As good genealogists and family historians, we always want to go to the original images wherever possible. And we say whenever possible because sometimes all we do have available is a index. Now, right here, William Townsend and some information about him, his wife Mary, which I hadn't put in yet, and there is Emma Virginia Townsend. So yes, this is my person, so I'm going to go back to the results and I'm going to start building my tree based on records rather than trying to just pull it back from my memory. So we keep hitting the back. Actually, I'm going to come back. I opened a second tab. So I come back to this page, close that out, and I start bringing things over. Before I can start moving things from the left to the right, I have to accept that this hint was accurate. So now I can start bringing things over. What I absolutely love with this view is that the information on the left, let's say we have a birth date in a new record and you only had a partial birth date in your tree, you'll be able to bring that new information over as an alternative fact, or you'll be able to bring that information over as yeah, that was really good penmanship. Sorry, I was just checking in on the chat, you guys. Or you can bring that information over as new and overwrite the stuff you have in your tree. Let me go ahead and show you how that is done. Okay, so William James Townsend, I'm going ahead and accept it. Notice how over on the side, they tell you what's different, what's new, or what is a match, the information. This is more complete than the birth over here, but I'm going to bring over the information that he was in the 1880 census in Franklin County, Ohio, and that this extracted biographical information is really nice. They did the math for you and told me his role in the household. The occupation, you can decide whether to bring that over now. His race, you can decide. His residence. For me, I'm going to go ahead and just take this census information and ignore the residence information. It's a personal preference for you. So one of the things I can do is notice down here, I don't have anyone else in my tree based on this record besides Emma. So I can update all, or I can go through and be more judicious about what I bring over. So I don't want to make her name Emma V when I already have Emma Virginia. So this is one of the reasons why I don't do update all. I'm going to bring over this information. I'm going to ignore that. But now I'm going to go up here and I'm going to start adding family members from this record. So I have Mary. I'm going to bring over Mary, and her last name is Townsend, but Find My Past has figured out that Townsend was likely her married name, so they don't give you an option to put, let me go back. I'm saying that wrong. I don't want that full name. I want to do, you know what? This is different than what I expected, but the full name is Mary, the married name, they've gotten separate places there. Birth, but here's what I wanted to show you right here. I want to go ahead and edit Ohio and make it Ohio, United States. So I'm going to do that a little bit slower. I clicked on these dots, clicked on edit, and then I did comma, United States, and then I click OK. And now I have that more accurate. I could do the same thing with the census information and go through all the way. Now I can bring over, another way I could do this is update all information from William James. I can edit here if I wanted to, and then I can also send stuff back. Whichever you find is easiest for you to do, I'm gonna invite you to do that. I'm gonna quickly go through, so I don't wanna waste your time too much. Actually, I don't want to waste any of your time. So once you've gone through all of that information, come down to the bottom and say save changes to the tree. And now if I go back to my tree, to the Townsend family tree up here at the top, I'm going to have a larger tree. I've got William and now the name of the mother Mary. I have Emma, and then I have her siblings. So I hope that is pretty straightforward for you. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. I will come back to them during the Q&A session after the training is over. So we had talked earlier on this channel about how do you export, save, create, lots of those words, a GEDCOM file. And some people were wondering, why in the heck would you need to do that? Well, let's say you have your tree like Greg over on Wikitree, or if you have your tree on Ancestry, like a number of you do in who are watching this live. How do you get your tree from Ancestry to Find My Past without having to repeat all of that work? I'm going to invite you to go check the link in the description for how to save a GEDCOM file. I'm going to assume you've already done that because you can save your GEDCOM file from online trees, and you can also save a GEDCOM file from genealogy programs like Legacy Family Tree software, from Reunion, from Roots Magic, from Family Tree Maker. Okay, so I had to get the big ones. If there's any other ones, you guys can tell me as well. But all of them should be able to export a GEDCOM file. So how do we go about uploading a GEDCOM file to Find My Past? Well, let's go through that now. So I'm going to go back to Family Tree. And this time I'm going to import a tree. All right, so there is a video that they've put out on how to go through it, but I'm going to make it fast for you right now. So my file is on my computer, so I'm going to choose a file, and I have arrangtree.ged. You know you have the right file when GED is the extension at the end. If you're trying to upload a doc or a PDF, you've got the wrong file. So this is a GEDCOM file, and I'm going to click Open. And now I'm going to upload the tree. Now, if your tree is pretty large, it's going to take a little while. But notice something else that's happening. In just a little bit of time, I now have 22 hints for the Townsend family tree, and I just added those relatives right there. So now I'm going to go and talk about a few settings here. All right, so home person. This is the home person in the tree. And the home person is, it can be you or it can be someone else if you're working on a research project. If you want to go ahead and say that it's you, you can do that. Otherwise, just leave it in the default locations. Couple other things. See this little part right here? I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. It says shared deceased ancestors. Well, what in the heck does that mean? Well, in a future video, I'm going to talk about tree-to-tree hinting that happens on Find My Past. It's a little bit different than tree hinting on MyHeritage and Ancestries and some other platforms, and I want to make sure I give it enough time that you guys understand. But if you want to keep your tree private, then you're going to have to make a mark on the tree, on the settings. Remember, we went to the settings option. So if we check this, then you're telling Find My Past it's okay to share the tree. Again, watch for that other video for tree-to-tree hinting for more explanations on that. I will drop a link in the description once that video goes live. Another thing that you can do is manage your communication preferences. How often do you want Find My Past to talk to you? But I'm a big fan of having capitalized surnames. So if your GEDCOM file doesn't have that, then you can go ahead and make those changes there. I'm going to go ahead and cover a lot of your questions as soon as the training's over. I do see them going over there. Hang tight and we'll go through it. All right, so one thing that we're not able to do really well is do zooming in and zooming out. So in order for me to do that, I go and make changes in my browser. So if you're really zoomed in, it's right there. I haven't found one on this screen. You use the lower slider bar to move from left to right on your tree, and then depending on how large your tree, there will be a slider bar on the right-hand side. If you want to go up the tree to see any generations above, you go right there. If you're want to see, now we have Emily and we've got her parents. If I go back to Gertrude and highlight her and click on her tree, then it's going to show me the relatives. And notice how rapidly these hints are coming in. I'm pretty impressed. I climb up the tree and I can see the multiple generations, and I climb down there as well. So very short training today. That was a very short training that we have about Find My Past. I'm going to go ahead and look in chat and try to capture any questions that I know how to answer. Is it free to add your tree? It is free to add your tree to Find My Past. So thank you, Ascertain20, for telling me that. I believe that that is one of the things that almost all of the subscription sites want you to do is to add your tree on their sites, and they give you that ability for free, because then you start seeing the hints, and when you know a platform has a lot of hints that you can't access because you don't have your subscription, then you're gonna want to go ahead and purchase the subscription. So thank you for watching. If you want to learn more about Find My Past, be sure to check on screen for the Find My Past playlist. And if you want to see our latest video, click that there.